Hey guys, and welcome back to DC YouTube. So, Valentine's Day has come and gone, and I personally had a very special day with that magical right hand of mine. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there before I get this video borderline taken down, and let's just get into proceedings. So, the MLS season is only a couple days away. I'm absolutely pumped. I'm gonna be at the DC United home opener against Colorado Rapids. I thought I'd preview that game. Before I do that, I thought I'd just quickly predict the MLS Eastern Conference standings, because this is one hell of an unpredictable league. To be honest, me trying to predict this is kind of like me sticking my hand into a blender and hoping for the best. So yeah, as I say, I'm pretty unsure on most of these teams, apart from one, because in 13th place I've gone with FC Cincinnati. You know why? Because they're absolutely... Last season they finished with a record low amount of points in the league. They conceded far and away the most goals. They're a poor side all over the pitch, and to be honest, we can sort of expect that. They came down from the USL and are not an MLS quality side. They have the son of my health teacher running the midfield park in Joseph Zhao. In 12th place, I've gone with Montreal Impact. I'm very sorry, you Montreal fans. I get you're very passionate, so please do not come to my driveway and bombard it with baguettes. Last season, the Impact conceded an absolutely ridiculous 60 goals, second worst to only FC Cincinnati, who had 75. And instead of, doing the logical thing and bringing in a defender, instead they make Thierry Henry the manager. And to be honest, if you're trying to fix your defensive problems by appointing Thierry Henry, well, you might as well just put the pre-match croissant in charge of the tactical setup. I mean, he may have been a great player, but not so much a manager. Alright, 11th, I've gone with Chicago Fire. Now, Chicago Fire are in a massive rebuild, complete rebranding with the badge. The only real thing that hasn't changed is the name. I mean, their colours have changed, everything's changed, the stadium's changed. Chicago Fire in 11th, main reason, rebuilding jobs, they tend to take a while, and with this being the first season, I'm not expecting much. We saw it with Liverpool, how you bring in Klopp with the intent to rebuild. It does not come instantly. Yes, there are new owners, but no, they haven't brought in great talent, so I'm gonna just leave it there. Next, I've gone with Orlando City. Now, a lot of people think Orlando is a pretty bad team, and I mean, it's understandable. They are in 11th, but I feel they have some good talent. I mean, they have Nani on the wing, they have Dominic Dwyer up front, who I don't really feel too bad about putting Orlando so high up, and with a very passionate fan base behind them, I'm sure they can do it. So, in 9th place, I've gone with New England Revolution. Yes, lads, you'll be finishing outside the playoffs. Lucky, though, that, there are only about 5 fans in the stadium to see that happen. I've not got too much to say on it. They were pretty poor last season. They scraped the playoffs, and they're not going to make it this time. So in 8th place, I've gone with Inter Miami, the new team, and I'm hearing all this. Oh, Inter Miami to win the MLS Cup, and let's just have a breather, okay? Challenging for playoffs first, and I don't think they're going to make it this season. They haven't brought in the massive names that we all expect them to. There's still time to make transfers, but I don't see it happening. Yes, they have been linked with pretty much every single player in the world, but it's not happened yet. And now we get into the playoff places. In 7th, I've gone with Columbus Crew. I don't really know how they did so bad last season. I mean, well, they finished 10th. And, I mean, they are a quality side. Zardes up front. Yes, they have lost Federico Higuain, but they're a strong side all over the pitch. And, I mean, I'm sure they can make playoffs this season. I think that was probably just more of a one-off season last year. So, yeah, that's really what I've got to say on it. 6th place, I've gone with New York Red Bulls. Now, if I was a New York Red Bulls supporter, which thankfully I'm not, DC United, I hate the Red Bulls, I'll be very upset with the 6th place finish. Yes, it is playoffs, but that's probably underachieving for a club like the Red Bulls. And if I were a player, I'd probably be pretty scared of what those fans would do to me. Except there aren't many fans. That is one empty stadium. In 5th, so I've gone with DC United, and this is the interesting one. So I'll talk a bit more about it later when I preview the game, and it'll also kind of be a bit more of an updated season preview to the one I did a couple weeks back, because, now that we've gotten more information on transfers and whatnot, it will be better, so, yeah, I'll talk about that a bit more. So in 4th place, I've gone with Atlanta United. Oh, DC YouTube, what an idiot! Atlanta's gonna win the MLS Cup, you... Shut up, okay? Literally, you may have Joseph Martinez up front, but this team has really experienced a bit of a clear-out. Some of the main players that, that really helped them to that MLS Cup, and they did get knocked out, I believe, in the conference finals last season to Toronto, but, the thing is, they played well enough, and they probably could have made the final, but the thing that got there was not just Joseph Martinez, but the whole squad, and they've lost so much of that. Julian Gressel's gone, Pogba's gone, Gonzalez Perez is gone. They've really experienced a clear-out, and, I mean, yes, you've got Joseph Martinez up front, and I'm sure he'll get you goals, but the main thing is still the team, and that team has been absolutely ripped apart, and the chemistry was so good, and it's not the same now. So I'm sure you'll still make playoffs. You'll still get that home playoff game, but it certainly won't be as comfortable as last season. And I'm expecting other teams to go all the way to the MLS Cup final. So in third place, I've gone with NYCFC, and they are a very, very strong team. Heber is a really good striker. They've got a great goalkeeper. They've got great players all over the field. It's still a relatively new team to the league, and yeah, they're certainly the Kings of New York. I believe they finished top of the Eastern Conference last season, but I mean, it will be a bit of a downfall. I don't really feel they deserve necessarily to finish top. They certainly weren't the best team in the East. Toronto in second place. I think they're not going to win the conference. They made it all the way to the MLS Cup final, and there's good reason for that. They played the Sounders again. It's been a very, very frequent MLS Cup final. And there's good reason. They're a very good team, but do they have the consistency to do it over the entire season? You know, finish top again, finish top? I don't think so. I mean, they're a good team. They'll finish second. Yeah, and the Eastern Conference, it's a very competitive league, but there isn't like one team in there that's like a standout. Like, you know, in the West, we've got LAFC and Seattle Sounders, so you can be pretty sure we'll finish, you know, LAFC top, Seattle probably second. There's no team like that here. Anyone could probably finish anywhere. First, I've gone with Philadelphia Union. The Union have always been that team that, you know, they're close to being the best, but they just aren't. Last season they got knocked out to Atlanta, and I feel this may be the Union's year, and it makes me feel really bad because I'm a DC fan and they're one of our biggest rivals. But I mean, I can't deny it. The Union are they're a very good team. They have good players, good coaching. Everything really is good about the Union, even a good fan base, I'll admit it. So do you agree with these predictions, or have I absolutely fluffed them up? I mean, I probably have, but you know, if you are a supporter of one of the teams I put lower down, or maybe an Inter Miami supporter, if you're just not happy with where I put you, please don't threaten to kill me, okay? In any case, so DC United season starts on Saturday. Home opener at Audi Field. We take on Colorado Rapids, and it will be an interesting game. I thought I'd do a quick preview and predicted lineup to it. I'll have a matchday vlog out for it. I know I've said that in the past, but this time I commit to it, okay? If you don't, I'll proudly do anything you suggest down in the comments. So this has been quite a very active off-season. We've had a lot of departures, a lot of players coming in. When you look at the departures, there's been, you know, the big ones, Wayne Rooney, Lucho Acosta. I think Rodriguez is really, he might be a big miss for next season. It's really a shame we couldn't keep him. Because I thought probably, based on consistency, he was our best player last season. Wayne Rooney he didn't have the consistency I felt last season. He did score quite a decent amount of goals, but he certainly wasn't up there as one of the best in the league when you compare it to Martinez, Vela. Some of the smaller departures, I mean, Marquinhos Pedroso, Quincy Amarikwa, Gordon Wild is gone, Leonardo Jara has gone back to wherever he came from. But I think the players we brought in, it's exciting. Some of the big ones, obviously there's Edison Flores. He's a Peruvian attacking midfielder. He consistently scores goals for club and country, and now he's with us in the district. I can't wait to see him on Saturday. It will be very interesting to see how he does. And yeah, he's going to be a great signing. I think he'll slot in really well into that 4-2-3-1 Olsen enjoys to deploy, because he is a number 10. He can also play out on the wing. And one of the other very big ones is Julian Gressel coming in from Atlanta United, obviously. He came on like I think a 1 million fee, and it's probably quite low, and reason is Atlanta needed to get players out because of the, they were going over the wage cap. They just had to clear out those bigger players. They did manage to keep a hold of, you know, Martinez, but Gressel, he's come to us, and that's going to be massive, I think. He will probably, he's very versatile. He can play anywhere in the midfield. He can even fill in at right back if you need him to, though. I do think Russell Canouse for the first few weeks, up until O'Neal Fisher's back, Russell Canouse will be the guy at right back. Emil Assad is back, and I will be interested to see how he does, especially in the first couple of weeks. I feel once he's settled in, he'll be a consistent assist provider, getting goals as well. He'll be a very good player, but to start off with, it will be interesting. He's barely played any football since he left us. There were problems with his team over in Argentina. He ended up, I think he had his contract terminated, which is why he came over to us in the end. And he hasn't played a competitive game in a while. He got injured, I think, in pre-season. He played some of the game against Philadelphia, trying to get back into action, and I feel he will start against the Rapids. Now, apart from that, you've also got Erik Sorga coming in, who's an Estonian striker, scored a lot of goals in the Estonian league, and I watched some of his goals and stuff, and what I've noticed from his playing style is he's very much a poacher. Ola Kamara, he will certainly be starting ahead of him. I believe Erik Sorga's going to be playing at Loudoun for a bit, and then once he's integrated there, he'll come into DC. But Kamara will definitely be the main guy in there for now. But here's my concerns for next season. It's not so much how good our initial 11 is, but it's more the depth. We have a lot of young guys coming in who could certainly fill in and stuff, but for me, I'm just worried. I feel like we are a couple injuries away from a major crisis. Behind Ola Kamara, for now at least, our only rotation is Griffin Yao up front. Otherwise, we'll have to start resorting to, I don't even know, Julian Gressel up front, stupid things like that. Paul Ariola could potentially play striker, except he's injured, which is going to be a massive loss as well. At least we have Gressel, Flores, and Assad, who can still fill in those three more attacking midfield roles. But the problem is, and this kind of exemplifies the fact that we don't have too much depth. I mean, behind those three, what do we have? Ulysses Segura. But in terms of the game, what do we need to watch out for from Colorado Rapids? Well, their striker Kai Kamara, he's a very, very consistent provider of goals. He's the kind of guy that you can just lump the ball to. He'll take it, finds that yard, and he can put it in the back of the net. He's a very, very good striker. And behind him, you've got some decent players in Rubio. There's Acosta, but I think that the service to Kamara, it can be neutralized because we can fully expect to see at least two, maybe even three anchor midfielders playing if Olsen opts for a 4-3-3 formation, but I think he will probably go for that 4-2-3-1 with two anchors, which will then end up being Felipe and Moreno. I feel if those two can work hard, try to stop Rubio and Acosta having those finding that space where they can play those balls, I think you can really stop the service. And I feel that we do need to play a possession game against them. And with Ben Olsen, he's known for being a defensive coach, but against a team like the Rapids, they're not very good. Defensively, they're poor, they're fragile. They didn't make the playoffs last season, and this is the Western Conference. It's probably lower quality overall. So I feel Olsen really should be opting for a possession game where we can really try to use the creativity we have on the field with Gressel, Flores, Assad, even Kamara. Try to utilize them to really break the Rapids down. And one thing that we do need to watch out for, it's that the Rapids, they're very good off set pieces. So even if we neutralize their creative threat, it's you need to be very alert on set pieces, because with Kai Kamara, he can rise up, he can just put anything really in the back of the net. We need to be watching out, and I think at some point in the game they probably will get a goal. Let's be real about it. Our defense was very strong last season, and we have to look at it fairly. I mean, we have a very good defense. Yes, against Toronto we lost 5-1. Overall, we had the second highest defensive record in the entire league, second only to LAFC. Bill Hamid also had the most clean sheets in the entire league. I mean, joint with Brad Guzan. But still, it shows we have a good defense. And if we can try to neutralize Colorado Rapids, go for goals, I mean, we could easily win this 3-4-0. And as for my predicted lineup, well, Bill Hamid obviously goes in goal. Left back, I think we know it's going to be Joseph Mora. Two centre backs, they started every single game last season, so we can definitely expect it to be Briant and Birnbaum. No reason to change that up. At right back, it's an interesting one. I think O'Neal Fisher will be the main player, but it's a few weeks until he's back from a knee injury. So for now, I think Russell Knaus will slot in there. I don't think he's going to opt for Julian Gressel. Based on what I've read, Gressel's been playing in the midfield. Knaus will have to fill in at right back. As I said, I want to see two anchor DMs with Moreno and Felipe, who can then protect the defense, try to neutralize their creativity in the midfield, so then Birnbaum and Briant can then work on isolating Kai Kamara. Play that attacking three, which I've been talking about the whole video, with Gressel, Flores, and Yamil Assad. I'm not exactly sure, it's going to be interesting if Yamil Assad actually does start, because he didn't play too much against that win over the Union in pre-season, but I think he will. He probably will have 60 minutes in the tank maybe. So I think that makes sense. Up front, Ola Kamara, it's quite a given, to be honest. This whole lineup, it kind of writes itself. I think that basically, how we want to play them in possession, we'll have the fullbacks, especially Russell Knaus, playing more attacking. Maybe Mora can tuck it in to make more of a back three. The two defensive midfielders will have to also, be those two anchor players, but they could probably also move forward a bit at the right times. Flores will try to be that creative spark, I think, pulling the strings from that number 10 role. And then with Gressel and Assad, they'll play maybe as more like inside forwards. It'll all be interesting. I hope Ben Olsen does opt for something similar to this, though. It's always possible that we end up seeing Ulysses Segura in there. I think if out, then yeah, it will be Ulysses Segura. And Ulysses Segura actually did make 33 MLS appearances last season. He was a main player, even though for me he's not really that high quality. I mean, I don't know. Let's see what Ben Olsen does. I'm really excited for this game. I'm going to be there, as I said, matchday vlog with this channel. And yeah, so thanks guys for watching. That's the end of the video. If you enjoyed this one, subscribe, give it a like, give this video a share. All this is appreciated. I know I haven't been uploading too regularly. I'll try to do more videos now that the MLS season has started. Again, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in a bit.